No, you want to arrest?
No! Get off! Oh, fuck you! Get
Understand and have a shared undertaking to deal with within our society, and that is not just the laws on terrorism, the framework on terrorism, it's also the laws on what we can access online. We still have rules in place in this country about what you can see at a cinema, and yet online you can access no end of material. We have to ensure that we can rise to this new challenge, and that is what I'm determined to do. Thank you all very much indeed. Thank you.
It's as shit as it ever was. You know, it's like riding a bike, a shit bike. It's like a shit person on a shit bike. You never forget how to do it. Fucking hell.
Guys, we seriously need to talk about what's happening in the UK right now. Because if this gets worse, I will be leaving this country. You see, today I woke up to a notification that one of my videos had been restricted because it violates local law. And let me really emphasize this. TikTok themselves don't have a problem with this video. In fact, it can still be watched by everyone else outside of the UK. Bro, and when your local law is more strict than the infamously sensitive TikTok guidelines, you know that something is cooked. Now, it was removed under the UK's new Online Safety Act, which I'm sure you guys have heard of by now. It's supposed to protect children from harmful content online, but we're less than 2 weeks in and it's already taking down literal news reports. The news and flow of information has to be a protected space in every country. And by taking down my videos so that under 18s don't see them, that means everyone in the country over the age of 18 don't see it either. And again, I'll reiterate, this video wasn't even sensitive enough for TikTok to have a problem with it. This has to be called out now and as early as possible, because it starts with one video on TikTok, but before you know it, people in this country will have to be using VPNs to keep up to date with the news. Just let that sink in. And I'm 100% serious when I said, if this gets worse, I'm out.
It's a debate that is necessary this week because we know that next week the EU and this government are going to meet in London to discuss the next steps in our arrangements. And it is very important that this House receives some clarity before that agreement on what this government is fighting for, what it stands for, and what its red lines are. Because even at this late stage, this House is unaware of what its intentions are. And I don't know if you remember, Madam Deputy Speaker, there was a very good TV programme in the 1980s called Quantum Leap. And in it, an American scientist, Dr. Samuel Butler, Beckett, I stand corrected and I apologise to the House, Dr. Samuel Beckett stepped into the Quantum Leap accelerator and vanished. And he awoke to find strange new forms that were not his own. And every time the Prime Minister speaks, I think, which body has he leapt into now? You know, is it the Prime Minister that spent his early life chastising all immigration law on the grounds that it was racist? Or the Prime Minister who has a newfound love of strict immigration rule? Is it the Prime Minister who promised to protect winter fuel payments? Or the Prime Minister who immediately cast them away? The Prime Minister who promised to protect farmers, but then immediately did the opposite? The Prime Minister who said he knew what a woman was, but then changed his mind? The Prime Minister who said he would not put taxes on working people, but then promptly did? The Prime Minister does not know what he stands for or which way he looks.
Do you believe humans are inherently simple beings that complicate things, or complicated beings that spend a lifetime trying to simplify? Which do you identify with? I think that's a good one. That's a good one. And in some ways it's both. But I'd say we're complicated beings who try to simplify everything. We're 3.3 5 billion years of evolution, right? That's come to this, the most intelligent being ever on planet Earth. And yet we still go, why are we here? Why are we here? And you want to go, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. You are. And you've only got a few years, so stop worrying about shit. I think we do yeah, we do. We keep worrying about stuff. And we're just, as I said in Afterlife, we're chimps with brains the size of a planet. It's confusing. And life could be quite simple, I think. Just have fun and don't hurt anyone. That's the rule, isn't it? Easy. Easy, isn't it? It's easy. Or don't hurt anything would be better, but yeah, I know that can be trickier.
I'll change the country for the better. And what do? You make promises you can't keep, and don't really intend to keep, and you don't do the change that's needed in the country. I feel very strongly, if you're not going to deliver, if you're not going to keep your promises, don't bullshit.
If you could resurrect one person, who would you choose? First thought was Churchill, because it would annoy a lot of people. But he'd probably annoy me as well. So, would that be worth it? Would he? I think he'd annoy her. I think lots of other people being annoyed would make it all right, but he wouldn't be my favourite. Oh, I've thought of this before. In the last few years of all the madness, politics and social justice and all that, and cancel culture and all that, I wished Christopher Hitchens was around, because he'd annoy all the right people and I'd agree with him. So yeah, Hitch.
14-year-old girl is assaulted by an Eritrean who'd arrived by boat 8 days before. So the answer is yes, I do understand the genuine upset and anger. And I'll bet you that most of the people outside that hotel in Epping weren't far right or far left or anything like that. They were just genuinely concerned families. Yes, we do think dynamic prison places overseas work, so we can send some of our worst violent criminals overseas to serve their terms, then yes. And if that means that Ian Huntley goes to El Salvador, well, our attitude is so be it.